You said the price was too high, but you weren't thinking about the price. You were thinking about something else entirely. Something your brain does automatically without asking permission, in the half second before you even consciously register the number on the page. And if you've ever been on the other side of that moment, if you've ever watched a customer look at your price and flinch, you need to understand what actually just happened. Because it wasn't about money, it never is. Here's what your brain is actually doing. Every time you consider a purchase, your brain runs a calculation, not a logical one, an emotional one. It compares two states, where you are right now and where you'd be if you bought the thing. It measures the distance between those two places. And then it asks one question: is crossing that distance worth what it costs? If the answer is yes, you buy. If the answer is no, you object. And the most common objection in the world, the one that has ended more sales conversations than any other, the one that feels like a wall, is simply your brain saying, I cannot yet see that the other side is worth it. That's the whole psychology. Right there. The price isn't the problem. The gap is. In 1979, two psychologists published a paper that changed how we understand human decision making. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky were studying why people make irrational choices with money. What they found was this: losses feel roughly twice as powerful as equivalent gains. Your brain doesn't experience a $500 loss and a $500 gain as equal. The loss hits harder. It always does. They called it loss aversion. Now think about what happens when someone hears a price. The number on the page isn't just a number. To your brain, it represents a loss. Money leaving, something gone. And the moment that registered loss feels larger than the anticipated gain, the gap between current state and future state, your brain pulls back. It objects. Not because the price is objectively too high, but because the gain hasn't been made vivid enough to outweigh the loss. This is the mechanism, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Keenan, the sales thinker who wrote Gap Selling, built his entire framework around one deceptively simple idea. People don't buy products. They buy the distance between where they are and where they want to be. He calls it the gap, and he argues correctly that almost every price objection in history is a symptom of the same root cause. The gap wasn't built large enough. Think about it this way. Imagine you're paying $800 a month in car repair bills. Your old car breaks down twice a season. You've missed 2 client meetings because of it. Your mechanic knows your name. And someone offers you a new car. Reliable, under warranty, total cost $500 a month. Is $500 a month too expensive? No, it's a relief. The gap between your current state, like expensive, unreliable, stressful, and your future state, predictable, professional, calm, is so clear, so visible, so obviously painful that the purchase doesn't feel like spending money. It feels like solving a problem, but now imagine the same car, same price. Except this time, no one asked about your repair bills. No one asked about the missed meetings. The salesperson walked you straight to the vehicle, listed the features, handed you a brochure, and quoted the price. $500 a month. Now it feels expensive. The car didn't change. The price didn't change. The only thing that changed was whether you could feel the size of the gap. This is what Robert Cialdini spent decades studying. The psychology of influence, documented in his landmark book, Influence. One of his core findings: people make decisions based on perceived value relative to perceived cost. Not absolute cost. Relative cost. And perceived value is not a fixed number. It shifts based on how clearly the problem has been established, how vividly the future has been described, and how urgently the gap has been felt. When salespeople negotiate on price, cutting numbers, offering discounts, calling managers, they are treating a symptom. They are lowering the left side of the equation instead of raising the right side. And even when it works badly. Because a customer who bought because the price dropped is not a customer who understood the value. They are a customer waiting for a cheaper competitor. The fix is never the discount. The fix is always the gap. Here's what most salespeople miss. When you are in a sales conversation, you are not presenting information. You are building a feeling. You are helping another person feel the weight of where they are right now. The frustration, the cost, the daily friction, the thing that isn't working, and simultaneously helping them see clearly and specifically where they could be instead. And the bigger that distance feels to them, not to you, to them, the more buying becomes not a decision but a conclusion.